All the links to the original posts are given in the description. So now let's head straight to the video.
I am pregnant after a fertility struggle, being told I may never get pregnant. My husband just admitted to having an affair and getting someone else pregnant. Not sure what to do. My husband and I got married 3 years ago. When I was a teenager, I was told that due to medical complications I may never be able to have children, but after 2 years of trying and fertility treatments, I'm now halfway through my pregnancy with our miracle baby. Unfortunately, because of some complications, I had to cut back on my hours at work. My husband offered to pick up more hours to compensate, so he has been working a lot more in the past 2 months and coming home later. I couldn't see that anything was amiss. Things were the same as they've always been. He always brings home flowers, food, things for the baby, coffee. He's always sending me thoughtful and loving texts through the day. The gaps where he was unreachable were explainable. But this morning he sat me down and gave me news that rocked me. He told me he's been having an affair for the past 6 weeks and that his affair partner just found out that she's pregnant. He says that if she decides to keep the baby, she's going to raise it by herself and that they mutually agreed to end the relationship already. He wants to make things right. I don't know how things can ever be right again. He just wants to move on from what he is calling his transgression. How do I ever forgive him? How do you deal with the unthinkable? How do I learn to live with the idea that my child's sibling might be out there somewhere someday? Most importantly, how do I learn to move on like he wants me to? Story 2. My boyfriend's mother keeps putting an ingredient I'm allergic to in her dishes. This has been somewhat of a nightmare, so any advice would be amazing. My boyfriend is also 23 for clarity. I have a garlic allergy. It's not lethal, and I definitely wouldn't get anaphylaxis or something from it. The problem is that I get asthma if I eat it, and it'll really mess with my digestion later. Everyone in my life knows that I can't have garlic and I won't have garlic. It makes eating out a nightmare because of how prevalent it is. So usually my boyfriend and I have date nights at our apartment and we cook for each other. But my boyfriend's mom has a family tradition and she insists we all come to dinner at least once a month. She's a fantastic cook and usually a really nice lady to be around, but there's one problem. She wants me to come every time, but she always adds garlic to every dish. At this point, I've just started taking an inhaler and just eating the Hawaiian rolls she always serves. My boyfriend drives us, and we just go get fast food right after. We've talked to her over and over again about the garlic. I've asked her over and over to please not use garlic, and she says she doesn't understand how it's such a big deal because it's not like you'll die. I've tried skipping the meals, but she throws a fit and drags her entire family into it. I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years now and I'm best friends with his sister. I'm at my wit's end. How do I get this through to her? TLDR, my boyfriend's mom insists on serving food with garlic at every meal even though I'm allergic. ETA, I have brought my own food before, usually something simple like a mac and cheese. I did it twice, but both times she was angry and basically made for an incredibly unhappy evening. Update, so, hi again, and thanks for the advice. I also saw that there was already a YouTube and TikTok video on my post, which was weird, but I digress. Anyways, on to the update. To those of you who said she just didn't like me, you were 100% correct. After my boyfriend woke up yesterday, we had a long talk about how bothersome his mother's refusal to take out garlic is. He agreed that we should skip the dinner until she takes it out. Something about it still bothered me, so I ended up calling her and just bluntly asking her. She kept evading the question, saying she's just a garlic lover, that she doesn't understand what the big deal is, etc., etc. Finally, after like 30 minutes of back and forth, she finally admitted that she just doesn't like me. I think I'm correct in drawing the conclusion that she was trying to drive me from her family with garlic shenanigans, but maybe I'm just overthinking. I dunno. Anyways, I asked if it was because of my job, my age, background, whatever. And she just flat out told me that she doesn't like that I have my septum and tongue done, and that I color my hair unnatural colors. She thinks it's unprofessional and proves that I'm too much of a wild child to date her son. Which sucks, because I really like this woman, but I guess she was just polite out of courtesy rather than actually liking me herself. After I ended the call, I went to go find my boyfriend and he basically fessed up and said that yeah, his mother was not a fan and kept basically hinting that we should break up. Mostly by mentioning stuff like my friend Jenny has such a cute daughter and that sort of thing. Which hurts like hell, but I'm glad I know. Anyways, my boyfriend and his sister have both agreed to just start up a group dinner once a month. I'm going to stop going to the dinners, and my boyfriend will just go without me. TLDR, woman just doesn't like me. Update, I can officially say I've gotten the Ike. This man sucks. Update 2, I'm going to break up with him tomorrow. I'm too sleepy and pissed, but I'll post an update on my profile. Update 3, hi, me again. I broke up with him and basically spent the day fielding texts from him asking WTF was going on and why I was freaking out over his mom. As I said in the update, I got the Ike. The more I thought about how he didn't defend me to his mother, refused to tell me about her underhanded tactics, the more I just didn't like him anymore. It was like a switch flipped. So when he woke up, he got a call from me saying this wouldn't work out. We had a long conversation that basically turned into him being defensive. In the end, I was firm. I also sent a text to his sister along the lines of, if you've got questions, ask your brother. Before I blocked her, of course. It's kind of shitty that I lost my best friend and my boyfriend, but on the bright side, at least it wasn't cheating and they just suck. Thank you everyone for the advice, and hopefully I find a better man with a better family. Story 3. I discovered my husband's infidelity and his double life thanks to a post on Facebook. My husband and I have been married for 10 years and have 2 children together. He travels often. I also want to say that about 8 months ago I discovered that I was infected with an incurable STD. He blamed me for this, saying that I was the unfaithful one. Well, I was browsing Facebook in a mother's group, and that group it is for help with children, to ask for donations, share experiences and memes. A mother shared that she would give her husband a laxative tea so he wouldn't go to a soccer game the next day. It was all mockery and laughter in the comments of the post and telling her to update the result. I am a person who likes to read comments. Unfortunately, I saw a profile that had a photo of a woman with my husband. I started watching and apparently they got married civilly. My husband created another profile but has a different name and surname. I think that child has his false last name because she uploaded a post when she went to register the child's birth certificate and placed the full name there as if she were proud of it. I posted it in the same group. Several gave me advice and we deduced that possibly the other lady didn't know because of what she shared on her profile. I wrote to her and was surprised that the BTCH did know that he was married. They have been married for 2 years and their baby is approximately 14 months old. Although they are not technically married, their marriage is not valid. I hired a lawyer, I took all the evidence, and I am in the divorce process, since when I complained he preferred her, he left the house to live with her. Besides, he refuses to give alimony, claiming that he has another child to support, and that if he has to give alimony to my children, he will seek the minimum payment even if he has to quit his job. How do I proceed with my life? I think I feel very limited in rebuilding my life because of the STD and my children. Sorry for my English, I'm not American. Story 4. I am disgusted by my husband. To keep it short, we have 3 kids, the youngest is 6 months. I was slightly overweight when my husband and I met when I was 26, and have steadily gained a few pounds every year since then. My husband is the same, slightly overweight and has steadily gained. Over the last several months I have been trying really hard to lose weight and get healthy. I'm now below what I weighed when I met my husband and look pretty good. Ever since this change, my husband seems happier, we have sex more, and he is generally nicer and more romantic with me. This makes me literally hate him. I can't stand behind around him and try so hard to pretend everything is okay. He says nice things to me or does nice things and I have to leave the room to go cry. All of this is because I've lost weight. I'm so devastated that he's treating me so differently. I feel like he never really loved me. My feelings for him have been the same no matter what HJ's weight was. I just don't know how to get over this or if I ever can. Story 5. My daughter tried to hurt herself after we found out she's not biologically mine. How do I help her understand that I'm still her father and that her existence is the best thing in my life? My little girl thinks that her existence is evil. We found out recently that her mother, my wife of 23 years, cheated on me when the man claiming to be her biological father showed up on our doorstep demanding to see her and claiming he didn't know she existed. It's been quite possibly the worst few weeks of my life, but she took it so much worse than I did. She calls herself a bastard. She won't talk to her siblings or her mother and only apologizes to me. I don't give a fuck if she's half T-Rex. I love her with every bone in my body, and she tried to take her life last night. My wife found her. She's going to be okay, but this can't happen again. I can't talk to anyone about this. I don't want my family to know. I don't know how to be what she needs. Please help. TLDR, my daughter isn't mine. She tried to hurt herself. How do I help her? Update. Thank you for the advice. Things are not better yet. In fact, things have gotten deeply disturbing. I tried to write this up without using names, and it got confusing, so let's call my non-biological daughter Jane. My other 3 kids are John, Jill, and Jenny. John, Jill, and Jenny went out and got DNA tested behind my back. The other 3 kids are all biologically mine. They made a big show of giving the results at a family dinner that was supposed to help us all bond again as a family after the original issue, and it upset my daughter a lot. She felt rejected, and honestly, I felt insulted that they hadn't respected my wishes and let sleeping dogs lie at least until things were more stable. I started my absolute best to make Jane feel more safe once she came home. I started sleeping on the couch in her room so she could talk to me if she ever woke up feeling like she had to. I've been taking her and her siblings out a lot more than I used to. I got her presents and tried to be there for her. I even did something I haven't done since high school and broke out my old guitar and wrote her a song. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. I guess I thought she'd be able to understand I wasn't full of it. My soon-to-be ex-wife decided to use all of this to accuse me of being creepy to Jane, saying now that I know we're not related I'm preying on her. She said this in front of Jane. It caused Jane to have a second mental breakdown, and it caused me to call a lawyer and start planning for divorce. This is, in my opinion, a far more unforgivable offense than the cheating. She's my daughter. I'm going to fight like hell for as much custody of Jill and Jenny as possible, and the good news is, they both seem to want to live with me, and they're old enough that it matters. Those comments, however, made getting through to Jane extremely difficult. I'm worried she'll attempt every day, and she doesn't want me sleeping in her room anymore. I hate my wife with every bone in my body for causing this mess. I can't tell my daughter I love her anymore without scaring her, and she was already scared our relationship was going to change. She says she believes me when I tell her I would never in a million years see her as anything but my child, but she flinches when I hug her. How the fuck do I fix this? TLDR, my ex-wife made some truly vile comments, and now my daughter, who I've raised since the day she was born, is afraid of me. Story 6. I was stabbed, and now my soon-to-be ex-husband wants to cancel the divorce. My soon-to-be ex-husband and I had been married for 12 years. We got married at 22. About 4 months ago, he asked me for a divorce after confessing to me that he was having an affair and that he was in love with that person. At first I took it badly, but I have always said that if there is a third person in a relationship, someone is left out. I also didn't want to waste my energy begging for something I know won't come back. His mother got sick and I had to take care of her at night since the lady is quite picky with other people. She always treated me badly, but I still took care of her. This delayed the divorce a bit. I guess they were using me as a nurse or babysitter lol. A month and a half ago I was assaulted when I was going to work. I didn't have much with me, just my cell phone and about $10, so I was stabbed for not carrying much in your pockets. My emergency contact was my husband and the whole thing. He now doesn't want a divorce since he says that this altercation opened his eyes and that he really can't imagine a life without me. It was going to be an uncontested divorce since this type of divorce is totally free in my country and I'm stingy enough to not want to pay a lawyer's fees, but now he doesn't want a divorce. I'm living with my mother and my soon-to-be ex-husband comes every day to screw up my existence. What do I do to get rid of it? I already made it clear to him that I don't want anything from him. Besides, I already hired a lawyer to advise me, but he says it's taking too long because he doesn't want a divorce. Story 7. How to avoid telling my best friend that her fiancé just died. Last weekend, my best friend and her fiancé were in a severe car accident. Unfortunately, her fiancé passed and she suffered severe life-threatening injuries. She has just come out of her coma and doesn't know why she's in the hospital. She keeps asking about her fiancé and where he is. Her medical team and family have refrained from telling her because her vitals are currently unstable, and a spike in BP could onset another stroke. I'm visiting her at the hospital tomorrow. How do I handle the questions about her fiancé without responding in a way that will make her mad at me later on? I don't think she'd ever get over it if I lied to her about this, even if for her health. To clarify, I have no plan of disrespecting her family and medical team's wishes. I just want to strike a balance of evading without sparking more concern. Edit 1. Just a gentle reminder that I'm grieving a really difficult situation. Comments that I'm a bad friend or that this post is fake are a bit hurtful ATM. Please see my comments, replies for further clarification on how this is very much our tough reality. Edit 2. Thank you to everyone for your thoughtful and sincere advice. After much thinking, I've decided to stay home. She's verbally communicating now but isn't necessarily feeling up to visitors. Plus, this gives me time to speak with a professional. That said, I still would very much appreciate input people may have for supporting her in her grieving process once she knows. If anyone has any recommendations or experiences with grief groups or other resources, I very much welcome that input. Everyone's kind words and support has selfishly helped me process this even a bit more. I'm very grateful for you all.
If you like the story, hit the like and don't forget to subscribe the channel, and thanks for watching.